Good morning, Edgar. This is Doug, and I wanted to give you an idea of what the aerosol line that we're talking about looks like. I'll walk you through from beginning to end. First of all, this is the timing screw that engages the cans. You see it right there, and engages them one at a time onto the lugs of the index chain, which you can see are spaced appropriately there. First station is the marble dropper. That's its track switch, which starts and stops the marble dropping machine, which you see right there. And I think we got marbles in there as well. So there's an escapement right there that indexes and drops one marble per can. So that's the first station. We then have 3 piston product fillers, and you can see the filling nozzles there. These are Graco style nozzles with the tapered lapped seat. They work great for paint. They're designed for filling paint products like that. And you can see that the fluid, the paint, is actually flowing through these lines from the piston fillers in the back. So we're kind of going in a backward direction, but those are the filling nozzles, and each of them are triggered by the track switches 1, 2, 3 that you see there. We'll duck around to the back side. These are the 3 piston product fillers here. They are rebuilt. The air cylinder is the upper brass portion, and you can see how you would get the adjustable stroke by turning these. This is the lock nut that keeps the stroke from changing once you've selected the dose. The paint is actually metered through these cylinders down below here. And you can see that the yellow nozzles we temporarily put on, that's where the product flows into the filling cylinder, and then it is pumped out through the fittings, these fittings right here on the side. This is the gland nut that tightens the packings, the seals that keep the paint from weeping out. And if you get a worn seal and you need to tighten them up, you might see a drip of paint come out of those weep holes right there. It's designed specifically to tell you that you're leaking a little bit and you need to tighten the packings. So I hope I'm not speaking too fast, but we'll give it a whirl here. I mentioned to you the crimper is missing. This is where the crimper goes. These are the mounting hardware here, the bolts, and it would be bolted right into this position here. And these are actually the air lines for the crimper that we intend to put back on this machine for you. So I'm going to get around to the other side of the machine here again and show you where the crimper would be. So there's where the crimping station is. It has its track switch, and again would be mounted directly on that pad right back there. So the control circuits are right there for the crimper, and you can see you have an on, off, and index on, off, so you have controls. That little eye tells you whether you have air up to that point. It's showing red now, but when it's running normally, that would flip to green to give you an indication of how it's running. I'll continue on. Here are the propellant charging stations. There are 2 of them, and the gassing heads are not on this machine right now, but they will be. But this is the gassing adapter. This is the change part right here that you would need in order to fill paint. And as you can see in a close-up view, hopefully, that has a male stem in it right in the center of that adapter, which engages in the can or the valve that you would probably be filling. Most paint uses a female valve, so I would assume that's what you'll be using. But keep in mind that those adapters would be specifically designed for the valve that you give to us. Okay? So there are 2 propellant chargers. These are the cylinders that drive the head up and down, and you've seen them on the other videos. This is the gassing table right here. This larger table would be the one that would be mounted outside of your main building for safety, and you can see there's a relatively short gap between them that's been represented in the photographs. Again, all the air circuits are identified beneath the table here. You have your index control, and this is the end of the line where the cans would be transferred onto the flat chain conveyor. So hopefully you're getting a good view of how the overall system might work. I'm going to run around to the back side and show you the propellant injectors. These are the propellant injectors here. You adjust for the dose of propellant with this hand wheel here. There's the lock nut. That's the air cylinder for it. But the propellant actually enters through the check valve system there. Now, we have nylon lines in place because we test run with compressed air. So they are not appropriate for LPG propellant, but these braided lines are. So use that as the reference, not those. Those are just for our test purposes there. So there you can see the propellant charging cylinder. And again, it's a positive displacement pump and allows you to dose the correct amount of propellant into the can. As you can see, the overall line is not that large in terms of size. It matches up with what we had shown you. The index drive is located right here. You can see the guards and drive sprockets there. And there's the air cylinder and index drive that moves the index chain. That controls on-off switches. And it's a very simple, straightforward machine to operate. Down at the bottom you can see the return chain. The lug chain goes in the opposite direction. It goes from right to left, returns back around, across this one, up the other side here, through these sprockets, and then back up to the top to that point here. So that's the path of the index chain. All of our control circuits are color-coded, so there's a reference that you have to make that all work. So again, there's the controls, and if you look, filler number 2, reset buttons, cycle buttons, and it all fits together and runs very, very nicely. So again, hope I've given you a good overall view of how this line might work. And what we will be doing is getting that crimper installed for you as we discussed, fitting up the appropriate mechanical charging valves and gassing adapters to suit your particular project. Some of the other machines that we're building, to do a little advertising, we build a lot of different kinds of machines, high-speed machines. That's a 9-head machine that will run approximately 200 cans per minute, and we hope after you buy the first line, at some point you'll need one of these machines from us. Hopper feeders for valve inserters. This is a big hot water test bath, 4 lanes, again rated for very high rates of speed. And here we have, this is an automatic valve inserter system here with a magnetic sorter and placer. So this is quite a machine capable of inserting valves into the cans at, anywhere from 60 to 200 cans per minute. So, thanks for your time.